What's up, Vanguardians? This is Jonathan SP Mindham, and I'm going to be doing a couple of actually deck profiles, updating all my current Neo-Nectar builds post GB04, Generation Booster 4, when we got all the new, updated Neo-Nectar support. But this profile we're going to currently be watching is the updated Neo-Nectar Musketeer build. And actually what's really funny is not much has changed. Even with Cecilia's Stride and everything that was going on there, I have kept the deck the same. I feel the consistency factor has always been there. This build is truly, in my opinion, the best Neo-Nectar Musketeer build. Even though Cecilia got the Stride, I'll go into that a little bit later, but I've uploaded my deck profile, I think, like twice now, and every time there's just been slight little things, and mostly what this one is going to be the Strides, because we got really, really good ones. But I'm going to start with the basics and work our way down. One is, of course, is always our starter, is Musketeer, Broccoli, and Kira. And that's actually because we run her as a grade 3 searcher, because I only run 7 grade 3s. Now, people are like, oh my god, you need 8 grade 3s! No, you do not. Musketeers are all about having powerful rearguard columns and ability to keep flopping out, and I would rather have the extra grade 2, which I do run, rather than the grade 3. Even though you really don't stride that much in this deck, I actually like to stride a little bit more than normal, because striding is so good. It creates such an advantage for you. And a lot of people, I just got back from Atlanta Tea League, and I heard a lot of people like, oh, I don't really stride that much in my Musketeer build, and I'm like, why not? There's so much good stuff. Even Cecilia's Stride is really good. I mean, there's just, striding is a really powerful tool that helps you get that mid game going, and then your late game will be your Musketeer Vera in this deck. So let's go over this again. Again, the grade 3 searcher for stand. Ernest is always going to be Ernest in here because he is just so powerful. Counter +1, put him in the bottom of the deck. Look at the top 4. Call Musketeer, shuffle. Beautiful. Alan is when he's called from the deck from a Musketeer. You can unflip 2 cards that are in your damage zone and turn them face up, or countercharge now is the correct term. Absolutely perfect. We love everything Musketeer. Everything has to be Musketeer. I don't care what anyone says. Musketeer, Musketeer, Musketeer. Hannah, heal 4 of it, of course, and then Daniel 4. Another 4 of this, so a total of 8 crit, 4 heal, 4 stand, and 1 grade 3 searcher. Again, nothing's changed here in my build. Alan only made it better. We used to run Chestnut Bullet, but now we got Alan. Grade 1s for Antonio. Again, we absolutely need this. Don't worry about the counter charge. You really seldomly run out of flip counterblasts, and late game you really don't need it. So this is a perfect guard, because it also helps against like Dote, Laurels, anything that really attacks the rear guard kind of thing if you need something. So this perfect guard in my mind is just the better one at the cross against most decks, especially like the cross and all that. So 3 Rebecca, counter +1. Sack a Universe with the Musketeer's name. Look at the top 4. Call 1. Really standard. Been around since BT08. Ruth, same situation. She's the 10k attacker. This is beautiful early game. Like sometimes I ride a perfect guard or America, which up here, and call Ruth to the side. She'll attack. Someone will guard. You take the Vanguard attack, which usually will be like a 10k attack, and then you'll get like a stand, and you put it back on Ruth, and now she's 15. Generally, early game, most decks can't hit that 15 number, something over 15, so it's really good at early rush, like if you're on your turn 1 hit. So, 3 attacks, could happen very easily and very powerful, very effective. And the MVP of the grade 1 lineups is America. Just when the deck has been shuffled, again, doesn't even have to be through a Musketeer effect. During that turn, when this unit boosts, it gets that power of 3,000 to the end of battle. So super easy to get, and it's so powerful. I mean, she really helped make Musketeers an effective deck in the meta. I love her, and she's kind of like my avatar of the deck. Just because she helps create 21k columns with Augusto. And Augusto is the 12k attacker. So again, 9 plus 12 equals 21. It helps create that perfect number. Most decks in this meta will always be 11k base. We don't see too many cross rides. If we do, it's with brawlers, maybe Dote. It's really weird because there's not many decks that achieve a 13k base. Maelstrom, I guess, maybe again, like, it's just not a whole lot that does it. And this is a really good card for making those possible plays. It'd be very powerful and effective. Then we run 4, we'll go Saul last. We run 4 Sylvia. Again, another really good MVP of the deck. This is a really great card because when it's placed on the Vanguard or rear guard, you look at the top card of your deck. If it is a Musketeer, call that unit to the rear guard. Beautiful, because every card in this deck is a Musketeer. Like, we don't have to do it anymore. We have no more chestnuts. We have all these great plays that come off of it. So always some word advantage, always a +1. It's a huge part of this deck. It's like people are like, oh, Sword Me is so good. Well, I'm like, yes, Sword Me allows maybe a 16k column and all these grade 1 setups for all their players. But again, Musketeers have been doing this now for a little bit, and Sylvia allows that play setup. It's beautiful. Like, it's a free +1 because everything in the deck is a Musketeer. Even if you call like a grade 2 or over it, or I love going Sylvia, Rebecca will counterblast, retire the original Sylvia, and you just got a free +3 essentially, and you deck thin. And +3 is because you Sylvia into it and Rebecca calls another unit, so forth. Then the mate of our main legion, which is Vera, this unit is Saul. During the turn that it legions, you can take 3 normal units when it attacks the Vanguard and put them in the bottom of your deck in any order and draw a card. Really good. I found the weakness of this card in my mind. A lot of people are like, oh, I'll attack with it first. I generally like doing that, but I have found, and I just got back from Atlanta Regional, I went 4-2 in the main thing, but in my free plays, I'm playing a lot of free play, I always attack with Saul first, and like 90% of the time I would draw into a trigger. And I was like, damn it, like, this is, like, I understand you want to attack with him and then maybe have another Vanguard attack and he'll get a stand and restand him and you can do it again for an extra draw. It really just, it got really annoying. So I stopped and I was starting attacking with a more powerful column first. And, you know, like, again, it's kind of like choose it your own kind of thing. But this card last kind of thing is what maybe I feel is the best. So I've been playing the deck for a long time, and I've noticed it more lately than ever. So, grade 3 lineups, we run 3 Alvera, and this is where I'll talk about why no Martina and no Cecilia. Martina, again, I think is one of the worst things for a lot of the time because of her setup, and she just kind of is lackluster. I mean, like, there's just not much to her by any means. She's got like the Cecilia effect where it's count +1, choose 5 normal units for the Musketeers card name. If you drop some, put them in your deck, and then if this is unit is in Legion, look at the top 4, choose 2 units with Musketeer. I don't care for, I mean, like, you got to do so much just to get 2 pluses, and I'm like, oh my god, it's the same thing as Cecilia. If you're gonna run something, run Cecilia over this, just because Cecilia is a great because of the stride now. So Martina is really just a terrible Musketeer option for a lot of people because, again, she can't even sack a unit. Like, she's very vanilla until you are legioned. And again, you have to have so many units in the drop that are normal. You know, maybe a late game card, but again, she doesn't even give power. Like, it's just really is like, oh, I'm going to replenish my field after maybe Kagura or a Brawlers have destroyed my field, and even then, Musketeers can easily make up for it. They have so many things that just allow the pluses or the fixings, and I just don't like her as a unit across the board. And same thing with Cecilia, but at least Cecilia has the look at the top 5, call 1 after you sack 1. If I were to ever run another grade 3, it would be Cecilia, just because, again, she has the stride. But again, she's a 10k base, and I played against with my Brawlers in Atlanta. I played against a Musketeer girl, and she had to ride Cecilia, and it really hurt her because, I mean, like, if I Vera, she had Vera on there, at least it was 11k. But you always hit the guard with 10k or more to black a 16 column or something on those lines. So all you have to do is create numbers against Cecilia, and then that becomes problematic. And yes, her limit break is great. Again, you have to wait if you don't run the limit break enabler to do that. I mean, getting the +2 and putting units back in is fine. just to me again, what makes Cecilia great is at her time was great, but really being 11K base would have been so much better. And that's why they made Martina. It's like the updated version of her, just in Legion form. And then we get to her Stride, which is really good because you counterblast and you choose 2 of your rear guards with Musketeer as the card name, retire them as long as you have Cecilia in your heart. Look at the top 5 cards, and you draw. You call 3 from there. So you're stacking 2 to get a +1 really. Again, nothing that a normal deck can't do. You just are doing it with less moves. And generally, I don't know. I've never had a huge field setup problem. Like usually I'm looking for a card, like a America or a Augusto. I'm not looking for 3. So, you're usually just trying to replace a couple units, not a lot of units. So again, if you have a bad hand, you have like 2 triggers. Again, you're gonna drop maybe 10K each. So to just call attacking units, sometimes it can be problematic. But at the same point, the Stride is very good. I don't like Cecilia in this current meta at all. I think Vera's great. I think Alvera's great because you can do her secondary ability, which is a Soul Blast 1, sack a Musketeer, look at the top 5, and you can do it continuously. It doesn't even matter. As long as you have Soul, you can do the effect. Which is great. So you can clear out if you have to ride Saul. You can clear out, you usually will have a couple of things that allow you to get all that stuff out, and even have then a legioning factor maybe the next turn or something like that. So, and if your opponent rushes you early, you can get that extra crit for everything you call from the deck too, which is another great reason I like that, because if you go into it late game and sometimes they're like, oh, maybe I'll risk it, maybe I'll have to, just take a no guard at 4 damage and hope he doesn't hit a crit. Well, if you Alvera, they have to guard, or they are going to take 2 crit, easily. So, I mean, for Counterblast 1, it's pretty easy to achieve a +1 crit. Alvera, in my mind, has always been the unit. I would love to see an updated kind of like version of her in this new generation of things. So let's go to the strides. So before I was running kind of 4 Jingle, 1 Primavera, 2 Abora, and I think 1 Blizza. And now that we got new stuff, I now run 2 Jingle Flower, because again, you're really not going for much on here. If you're lucky, you can get a back row of a couple, like 3, a Ruth, a Rebecca, or America, is very easy to achieve, especially if you're not going up against retiring units. So this card is fantastic. But again, you don't do it as much, and your setup sometimes is a little wonky. So having him at 2 is perfect, because you really just hope to get maybe extra 6K off of his effect to all your units. So I'm happy with him at 2. Like, I feel like that is a perfect end game or mid game, or like I just have a good setup and I can use him. 1 Primavera. Primavera, for those who don't know, is so good in Musketeers, because not only does it put a lot of your units back, like they always kind of already do, it allows you to get about 5 attacks off minus stand triggers. But again, stand triggers during her phase actually are really bad. With her ability is you attack with 1 column, you attack with another, you then attack with her, and Primavera then allows you to choose 2 units on the field and call it the 2 more copies of each unit. So say you have Augusto, America, and you attack, you retire those units, you put 5 normal units back, you drop a card from your hand, and you call basically 4 units. So again, if you had the correct setup, you could actually call another Rebecca or another Gusto America lineup, which is really, really cool. So it allows, again, for really awesome, powerful numbers. I have ended a lot of games with this card, sometimes even mid-game, do it and just make my opponent drop everything. Again, stands are bad, but not necessarily the worst thing, because again, powerful numbers on fifth attack or 4th attack is really, really, really good. So 1 Abora, pretty standard. If she hits, pick a unit that's on the rear guard, call it from your deck, give it 200, go 2,000. A lot of this sometimes sets up like maybe a Rebecca play. You'll call her, give her 9K, let her sack something in front of her if you don't get a stand trigger, and you create a whole nother loop of stuff. So a couple attacks again per unit. I really like her. A lot of people do let her hit because, what's the worst that could happen? Well, let me tell you. And last but not least, the new Stride, which is an absolute 4 of in this deck, and I've already been going on for about 15 minutes, and I'm really sorry. But her effect is choose a face-down card named Dreaming Spinning Ronculus Asha from your G zone. Turn it face up. At the end, until the end of the turn, this unit gets the following effect: choose one of your rear guards, and if you have 2 of those rear guards with the same card name as that unit, all your units in the front row get 5,000 until the end of turn. Now that does include the left, the right, and the center. So automatically she'll be hitting for 31 without a boost. Then if the number of face-up cards in your G zone is 2 or more, so basically you achieve that by writing her second, you'll get another flip when you do the first part. You G zone is 2 or more, choose one of your rear guards and search your deck for one card in the same card name as that unit. Call it to the rear guard, and that also gets 2,000 until the end of turn, which is really nice because if you have, say, one unit in the front that's empty and you have like the Vanguard, and of course your right, let's say on the right you have it, and you have, say, 2 Rebecca, 2 Ruth, or 2 America, you can count those 2, call the other rear guard that's in the front, say it's an Augusto, call the Augusto. Not only does it get the 5K, but then it gets another 2,000. So it gets you maybe additional 7,000. It already can attack for 12. So you're already talking a 19,000 attacking unit on its own before a boost. Ridiculously good. Like, so it just sets up, again, these really powerful columns and Musketeers. The whole thing with Musketeers is you should always have your opponent at like 3 or 4 damage by the time they're riding grade 3. I love having it at 4 if at all possible. Sometimes you don't, but it's really, really powerful in that respect because your whole column is like almost like a semi-legion, because usually you give 3,000 to each unit. So this gives 5,000, so it really does have a really great effect with them, and actually works, I think, one of the best rides overall for them, next to Primavera for Musketeers. But Primavera's cost is so heavy, you can only ever run one. So that is the updated Musketeer. Like I said, everything else in my previous builds are the same, except for now we add Asha, and that is it. Let me know what you guys think. I'm going to be playing this deck in California. I'm super excited about it because I feel Musketeers in a best-of-1 format have done really well. When I went to Atlanta Team League, my team top 16. So this deck overall, I feel, has just got a lot of potential, and it can be very scary. A lot of people, I don't think, know how to deal with the rush that it can create and causes them to get flustered. So that is it, guys. Thank you so much. Let me know what you think, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.